Now, as investors, we don't really have to get into the weeds of running a business, but sometimes it does come in handy. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you about one phenomenon you might want to look out for. Welcome back to another video in my brand new studio. Well, studio, more like a grey wall for now, but I promise to spice it up in future videos. If you like what you see in here, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment if you have any questions on today's video or my stock portfolio or what's going on with the election or whatever. Please sit back, relax and enjoy this video on the Osbourne Effect. Now, back in 1983, the Osbourne Computing Corporation, what an old school name, announced two new products, the Osbourne Vixen and the Osbourne Executive. Two revolutionary computers. The only problem, however great they were, they made the current flagship, the Osbourne One, look archaic, and sales soon dried up. And the company actually went bankrupt because no one was buying the Osbourne One. Now, it is later speculated that the reason for this was the announcement of the two new, much improved models, the Vixen and the Executive. And from this unfortunate fate, we have the Osbourne Effect, the phenomenon of customers waiting for a new and improved announced products instead of buying a company's current offering. Now, a simple example of this, and somewhere it happens all the time, is the automotive industry. I mean, just ask yourself, if you're looking for a car and you've decided on one, and then all of a sudden the car maker announces next year's model with new improved features, a new look at the same price. Wouldn't you rather wait for that instead of buying one now? Now, this happens all the time, but in extreme cases, it can have a massive financial impact on a company because companies rely on actually selling products, not just announcing future ones. Say you're in the market for a small compact car to take you to and from work. And you've even decided on a VW Golf. But then the company announces the ID3, which is a better car and it's also electric, meaning you get a better car for less money and it costs you less. Who in their right mind would go with the traditional ICE car instead of the new electric ones? And VW Golf is actually one of the world's best-selling models and is the flagship for Volkswagen. So you can imagine what's happening to sales of that now that they are producing the ID3. Now, this is all great. Customers are going to buy the new ID3, but currently they still have to sell their old model because they can't make enough of the new ones. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Osbourne Effect. So announcing new products and while not hurting current sales is one of the many balancing acts a company has to look out for. Sure, announcing futuristic revolutionary products is great, but you might want to be careful with the timing. Now, annual updates to cars and phones are completely normal, and there are not many people waiting on buying an iPhone because they're waiting for next year model, because a new model comes out every year, so you might as well buy one, and the improvements are actually quite minuscule. But when you go from, for example, 4G phones over to 5G, you have a super upgrade cycle with many customers waiting. So waiting for the 5G phones. So you might want to hold out on your announcement, but at the same time, you don't want to fall behind. So many companies are announcing new electric cars and new 5G phones in hope of actually taking reservations and sales away from their competitors, because you might want to be the first company to announce something, you might not. So again, a balancing act. So instead of showing off revolutionary futuristic rendering of products that haven't even made it into production, some companies like Tesla, for example, choose to continuously roll out improvements, meaning there aren't really any upgrade cycles, the product just improves over time, meaning that customers almost never know what to expect, so they just buy a product immediately. But not all companies have the luxury of doing this. If you are falling behind competition and your products aren't all that exciting, you might want to make a Hail Mary play and announce a futuristic product just in hopes of creating fuzz around your company and bring in potential customers and take them away from what's happening with your competitors. But industry leaders, however, like Nvidia or Tesla, doesn't really have to take the risk of announcing something they're not sure they can produce, because pretty much no matter what they come out with in terms of products or services is going to set the industry standards. So they can instead do something we call sandbagging, which is basically announcing something and saying it's great, it's something new, but you're actually not telling customers how great it's actually going to be. So got kind of the opposite of the Osbourne effect, where you announce something that is just good enough to be better than your competition, but you're actually under-promising and going to over-deliver in the future. But again, this is a luxury you have only if you are one of the industry-leading companies. The timing of a new product is also key. Announce it too early, you have the Osbourne effect. Announce it too late, and you might be late to the party and the customers have wandered off and bought something else. So you want to hit that sweet spot where customers can see the product within reach, so they put down a reservation and then they start doing research on your products and they get excited for when it comes. But if they can't really see the product coming within, I would say, 2 years, almost no customers are willing to even put down a reservation and lock in that money. And of course, using the timing of an announcement and the Osbourne effect is a natural part of any competitive landscape, and you want to use it for maximum gain for you and do maximum damage to your competition. And sometimes an announcement is actually targeted at a competitor. So if you know that a competitor is coming out with a new product or planning to announce it, you might want to announce your product ahead or just after to make sure that they don't steal your parade. And if you announce something before a competitor and the product is similar in what it offers, if a customer put down a reservation for product A that came first, they might not even consider when the product B when that one comes out. So, this isn't really the Osbourne effect, but more just timing announcements of future product launches. So the Osbourne effect is not a huge deal and it rarely makes or breaks a company's future, but you want to look out for a company's track record. And I want to ideally be invested in companies that under promises and over delivers. Again, this is easier if you're the king and you're sitting there with all the best products and services, because again, pretty much no matter what you say, it's going to be brilliant and way ahead of competitors. But that's why I actually invest in industry leaders. I don't want any laggards who comes up with these great promises but then shows up with nothing. For example, I'm very happy that Elon Musk didn't just go on stage during Tesla's battery day announcing that in a year or two they're going to upgrade all their cars, new features, more speed, more power, they're going to look better software at the same price, because who on earth would actually go out and buy a Tesla until then? Instead, the company rolls out improvements to the production line as soon as they have them, meaning that customers know that the product improves all the time, so I don't have to wait for a huge upgrade cycle or next year's model, which is something that actually happens quite often in the automotive industry. So that's it. This is not a huge deal, but I think it's a cool phenomenon and a cool name. Sadly, it has nothing to do with Ozzy Osbourne. A bit of a bummer there. Do you have any examples of where the Osbourne effects have been used for or against the company, or where it really messed up an upgrade cycle? Let me know. Also, please give me a topic for next video. I haven't been making videos for quite a while now because there's been so much going on and I've had to move, as you can see. So what do you want an update on? Do you want me to talk about my investments, my watch list, do some more basic videos, ETFs, the election, corona situation, whatever it might be? Drop me a comment and I'll see you in my next video.